Edith thought that in a formal setting, this would undoubtedly be a flawless wedding for a ducal household. No need to be nervous, but everyone at the wedding could clearly see the hatred, disrespect, and contempt in the guests' eyes, or lust. There was no happiness to be found in this wedding, even if you closed your eyes and tried to imagine a normal one. Today, I will marry a man who despises me to the point where he may end up strangling me. Bad things kept happening to me, just like they always have in the past. Then she remembered her brother saying, "Give me all the money you have," Edith asked. "Don't tell me you are gambling again." Her brother shouted, "You idiot! You talk too much. Who do you think has been supporting you all this time?" Edith asked, "When was that ever the case?" Her brother pushed her away. Edith thought, "That's right, the stairs." What lay beyond the empty death at the end of that miserable day was. The next moment, Edith thought, "What the heck? Who is she? No way. Is that transmigration?" The maid came and said, "You have not forgotten what today is, have you?" Edith remembered she had read a romance novel yesterday, and there was a bright, pure, and beautiful character like the goddess of spring, Elise, who was the baron's illegitimate daughter. Due to her low birth, she was persecuted by her family and had an unhappy childhood. Then she was taken in by the Duke and Duchess of Rudwick, and there she needs them. Then a competition with no room for compromise starts in order to win the heart of Elise. In this story, the role of me, Edith, is to be a simple, foolish, and greedy villainess blinded by love and tainted with jealousy, continuously targeting and attempting to sabotage Elise. The maid spoke. "I am finished. My lady, master is waiting for you," Edith replied. "Thank you." The maid thought. "Thank you, is she all right?" Edith thought, "Is this just a matter of fixing Death's mistakes? I remember the original for sure. It won't be too difficult. Yes, this is better. If I can do this time, receiving family love without any price to pay," and she said, "Father, good morning." But it did not take too long before my fantasy was broken into pieces. Father asked, "Isn't it too late to call this morning? How slow? Where are you messing around? Close the door." Suddenly, she remembered the memory of Edith. Edith had grown up to be a pretentious and arrogant villainess, with a conceited attitude. It was merely a facade. One of the people said, "Shouldn't you repay the kindness of those who fed and raised you?" A walking advertisement for the family, adorned with a glamorous dress and expensive jewelry. And an easy target for venting frustration at home, getting picked on by even the house servants, Count's most expensive doll. Count shouted, "You can't seem to pull yourself together since this morning. You should not make any mistakes today." The Rudwicks are feeling angsty because they can't seem to get a grip on the situation. You have to tell them that you will bring 3 maids with your personal servant. That's the only way to proceed to the next step. Edith replied, "Yes, Father," and thought, whatever it is, previous life or a new life. Why is my family like this? Let's go over the information again. The current Duke Rudwick and Count Regelhoff have had a rivalry since I was little. My father believes that the title granted to Rudwick was stolen away from him, so he sent Edith into marriage to find information to bring down the Duke. Don't cry. It's okay. You can turn it into an opportunity. Perhaps it is fortunate, although I am not sure what to make of it, that I have developed a knack for finding a way to survive in harsh situations. Next scene, Edith thought, "The mansion is so luxurious that it fascinates me." Father spoke, "Come on now, my lovely child." Edith thought, his attitude changed completely. "It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not like they will be staying in this house for long anyway." After that, Edith thought, "Wow, seeing the characters I had only imagined from the author's description in person is amazing. So these are the Duke and Duchess." The male lead, Cliff, is handsome as expected of a protagonist, with a striking appearance. This must be Elise. Her beauty is breathtaking. The person next to her should be the man I am going to marry. Isn't this a bit unfair? So beautiful. How can a person look like this? Well, it's not like I have anyone to impress anyway. Hooray for isekai novel food. The Count stated, "A parent's heart is never at ease, no matter what they send off with their children. If my daughter could bring a few maids with her, the Duchess replied. Our family maids are not inferior in skills to anyone. The Count asked Rudwick, did the Duchess not bring any maids when she married you? Edith thought. This is a request that you cannot refuse, as there is no valid reason to turn it down, but don't worry, Duchess. Edith spoke. Father, I am really fine. Please forget about my father's request. He is just worried because I am still inexperienced. Next scene, the Count shouted, Are you crazy? It looks like you are not helping at all but rather getting in the way. Edith replied, Father, did you not see the expression on Lord Rudwick's face earlier? Everyone noticed why you insisted on sending the maids. This marriage was meant to ease any suspicions. If they harbor any doubts, what good would the maids do? The Count asked. But what can you do if you go in there alone? Edith replied, Father, for now, I will enter alone. If nothing happens, they will also become relaxed. Our top priority is to ease their suspicions, after I earn their trust properly. I will make up an excuse like homesickness, and bring one of our family maids from our home for a brief period. Next scene, Edith thought. Finally, today is the day that I will stand at the wedding altar. No, I don't have to go to their house ever again. Once we exchange rings, it will only be the end. They are so cute. Yes, I know your heart, Killian, so let's finish it quickly. He even dislikes touching me for a few seconds. So childish. Now it's my turn. What is he doing? People are laughing. What's going to change by doing this? Anyway, I have no intentions of pursuing you, so good job, guys. After some time, Edith thought, a life of enjoying hobbies and relaxing with no fear of being beaten by father or my older brother. Since I have been reincarnated, let me just do that much. Oh, Lady Elise came. What is the problem? Elise replied, I have something important I must tell you. Edith remembered, come to think of it, there was a character like this right after the wedding. Elise came and apologized to Edith, although Edith thought Elise came to rub salt on her wound. Since she could not blame Killian, she took her anger out on Elise, but there is no reason for me, who is not the real Edith, to get angry. Elise continued, I want to apologize on behalf of Killian. I hope you don't resent him too much. Edith thought, I cannot hate someone as pretty as her, and said, you don't have to worry, I understand perfectly. Although our marriage is arranged and you feel uneasy, don't worry. I don't resent the man who became my husband, she thought. Doing this right will greatly increase my chances of surviving in the dukedom. Elise said, Edith is truly mature and kind. Edith replied, I could never compare to Lady Elise. The dress you are wearing really suits you. After that, Edith thought, now that the wedding episode is over, I can finally rest. I feel alive again in this warm sensation. Killian came and said, you took a bath alone before the new groom even arrived. You are a cruel bride. Edith thought, in the original work, Killian definitely did not come to the bridal chamber. Killian asked, why are you surprised? Is there any person who will enter the bride's chamber besides the groom? Edith replied, I did not expect you to come. Killian said, that's fortunate. It looks like you have some sense of awareness. Edith replied, how could I not? During the wedding, you made sure I could not wear the wedding ring on you. If I still did not know even after seeing that, Killian asked, so what? Don't tell me, did you expect passionate courtship or something? Edith thought, there is no reason for me to be mean to him, and honestly, I don't even have the energy to get angry, and said, I just said what happened, that's all. Seeing that you avoid contact with me, I just assumed that you would not come to my room today. So, are you planning to spend the night here? Killian got angry and left. After that, Elise asked, where are you going to leave her behind? Killian said, I was there, but it seemed that she also had no expectations for tonight. She was half asleep in the bathtub, Elise said, but earlier, I am pretty sure. Killian stated, the issue with you is that you have a habit of seeing only the good in people. Regelhof were the people who lack sincerity and lie while smiling, just like other nobles. Elise asked, then that means Lady Edith complimented my dress. I was too happy about that compliment without realizing it. Killian stated, the dress that woman was wearing. She was not overly concerned about her dress. It was simply flashy, tasteless, and excessively extravagant. It was vulgar. Elise asked, "Are you calling your own wife vulgar? How could you say something like that?" Killian replied, "How I felt today was really..." Suddenly, Cliff came and asked, "So Killian is here too? It's late at night. What are you two doing here?" The next morning, Edith thought, "Wow, this body managed to wake up at this time despite the ordeal I went through yesterday. This is this time now after 22 years old. No, a healthy person's stamina. Good. I must think positively. At least I have gained a healthy body. It's possible that I could live as an adorable daughter-in-law if I do well. If it's the Duke and Duchess who welcomed Elise warmly, perhaps they might open their hearts to me too. Okay, first things first, let's exchange greetings." Edith asked Anna, "All the clothes that I brought, are they all like this, revealing and flashy?" She then thought, "If I were to wear something like this for a greeting, I can't imagine how bad of an impression I will leave. I can't even open my eyes." Then she said, "Could you please go to the dressing room and make the chest part of the dress look a little more normal? Make sure you take off those tacky decorations." She thought. She left without making a fuss. The butler and the maids at Regelhof were abnormal. I should also get the other dresses fixed too. And also, come to think of it, yesterday was our wedding night. Should I put rose petals on the bed? No, forget it. If I do things like that on my own, it will be a mess. Well, Killian is just like in the original work. He was a man who would keep his body pure for Elise. Such a good-looking virgin. But forcing that on the second male lead is a bit much. Yesterday was not a dream. What was he here for? Just to argue? Whatever it was nice to see his handsome face twice. Next scene. After some chat, the Duke stated, "I know very well that the Count has raised you to be very refined and elegant, like the wife of a noble home. I am curious to know if you can answer this." Edith thought, "It's fortunate I have Edith's memories," then said, "They are responsible for managing financial transactions and arranging documents. Of course, there may be a separate way used in the Duke's household, so if you teach me, I will try to learn it as quickly as possible," the Duke stated. "It seems the Count has certainly taught you that much." Edith thought, "I knew that the way people saw me was not good, but to accuse me of stealing internal documents so openly." Then she said, "If I am not good enough, please teach me something else. I will do my best to learn." The Duchess spoke, "I am glad you are aware of these things. Can you help me with my work starting 2 weeks from now? If you need anything before then, please let me know." Edith asked, "Could you arrange for someone who can show me around instead of the young Duke?" Next scene, Viscount Renan came. Edith thought, he is the Duke's aide. After that, the aide visited her to show her different portions of the palace. During that time, he said, "This is the Grand Library." Edith was so happy and asked, "Is it okay to visit here at any time, or do I need someone's permission to come in?" The aide replied, "If you are a member of the Duke's family, you can come in any time." Edith thought, "In my past life, even if there was an exhibition I was interested in at the City Art Museum, I could not go because of the admission fee." Later in the sitting hall, Edith said, "Thank you so much. It's overwhelming to think that I will be living in such a beautiful place. Thanks to the pleasant voice and eloquence of Aide Renan, I did not even realize how fast time was passing." After some time, Renan said, "As we are on our way back, let me tell you about this place. This place is called the Hall of Contests. It's a great place to admire the courtyard." Then Renan looked at her. Renan asked, "Why are they here like this?" Edith thought, "Well, considering the groom is having a drink with another woman so early, this is a normal reaction. As someone who plans to fully enjoy the elegant facilities of this estate, it doesn't really matter to me." Then she spoke, "As you said, it's really a beautiful space. When spring comes and everything blooms, this garden will be enjoyable to look at. It seems I will also come here more often. Shall we take our leave now?" After that, the Duke asked, "How was her behavior?" Renan replied, "I did as you asked, sir. She seemed to have a good understanding of the structure of the mansion, and she particularly enjoyed the Sistine artwork on display." The Duke asked, Did you notice anything strange? Renan replied. No, nothing at all. She displayed a very dignified appearance. But there was one unusual thing. I witnessed the two young lords having tea with Lady Elise. The Duke spoke. What? I'm sure I instructed him to behave himself. He was seen talking with another woman after the wedding. Then thought, I clearly explained to him that we have to keep the Count from aligning with Duke Langston, and keep him on a tight leash until the end of this year. He knew that, yet. Renan stated. However, the young lady did not seem to care, deep inside. I don't know what she was thinking. Instead of causing a disturbance or getting angry, she simply moved on as if she had seen nothing. On the other hand, Edith thought, I didn't eat out much to save money, so it's awkward to be still. Then she told Anna, you have been working hard since this morning. Go have a meal and come back. Anna replied, thank you, my lady. Edith thought, oh dear. Does it look suspicious when I say things like this? I can't help it. Anyway, it seems like I did well in front of the Duke and Duchess, so I can let out a sigh. What's left is still how to deal with Elise. So Elise's life was not easy before coming to the Duke's house. Elise's siblings made her life miserable due to her illegitimacy. They subjected her to constant harassment and persecution. Eventually, due to her efforts in saving the Duchess, the Duke and Duchess obtained the rights over Elise. She is different from me. Looking back, it was a life full of misfortunes from beginning to end. In the company, I experienced all kinds of abuses from seniors. I broke up with my boyfriend who used modeling gigs to meet other women. What did my older brother do after I rolled off the stairs and died? Mom, Dad, did you cry? They probably cared more about my brother than me after I died. So Elise was there, so shall I go and at least try to act friendly? So Killian is also there. After some chat, Elise asked, where is Edith? Did you come alone? Killian replied, you don't need to care about that woman. She's just a hostage here to stay forever and leave. Edith thought, I knew that's what you were thinking. Scene change. Layla shouted, they must have lost their minds. By her of all people, Damien asked, what happened this time? It seems that the Duke has a hobby of collecting women who are insignificant. Layla asked, are you joking with me right now? Damien replied, well, what is the use of breaking a fragile teacup and making things worse? Layla asked, brother, do you know something? Damien replied, let's take a moment to think. How did those two people end up getting married? What is the reason? Well, do you know how political power is currently divided? Duke Langston, who is aiming for the emperor's seat, and the imperial faction that only supports the young emperor, that's how it is divided. The representative figure of the imperial faction is Duke Rudwick. He had to keep a tight leash to prevent the Count from joining Duke Langston. But does the Count look like he is on a leash? Then he told her what he saw at the Count's house. Layla said, that can't be true. Damien replied, I understand that may be hard to believe, but you can believe me, I heard it myself. On the other hand, the Duchess asked, I see, everything looks good, doesn't it? Edith, would you like me to explain the documents you will be organizing? After some time, the Duchess spoke again. Let's wrap up today's lesson and call it a day. Then she said, as I get older, it feels like I keep using similar designs every time. So will you girls choose a design for me? Edith thought, this is unexpected. Why are you suddenly giving me a test question? Well, it's obvious even without looking at it. Even if the Duchess does not like Elise's choice, after both choices, the dress chosen by Elise will receive more praise. The outcome is fixed. Anyone without the protagonist buff would have understood the mistress's taste over the past 5 years. Compared to that, I have only seen these kinds of clothes in web novel illustrations. Elise asked, what do you think of this design? The blue silk dress on page 12, Edith thought, it seems like the perfect choice. Since the Duchess has a fair complexion, any color would suit her well. The Duchess asked, have you found something you like? Edith replied, the dress chosen by Elise is so beautiful that it's difficult to decide. However, if we are considering something new, how about something like this? The Duchess thought, oh, goodness. Edith continued, on days when you want a change of pace, A style like this could be quite nice, then thought, to my 21st century eyes, the design looks like something the lady of the duchy can pull off elegantly. The Duchess replied, indeed, a beautiful dress, but I wonder if it might appear too extravagant on me. Edith thought, indeed, you do look a bit hesitant, but as people grow older, it is said that wearing something glamorous makes them look more radiant. I don't have any intention of winning this competition. Even if I were to win, it would only accumulate more points for my demise. The Duchess stated, then let's trust the taste of both my girls. Now, shall I choose something suitable for Elise to wear? Elise replied, I really don't mind wearing anything. The Duchess said, let's see, this pattern suits her well. Edith added, this one too, such a pink shade does not suit just anyone. Lady Elise has fair skin and cheeks as rosy as strawberry milk, so it will definitely suit her well. The Duchess remarked, I see, Edith has a good eye for fashion. After some time, the Duchess asked, come on, Edith, pick a design you like too. Edith replied, I don't need any dress, but do you do alterations, Madame Royal? Madame Royal replied, yes, of course, what are you looking for? Edith stated, there are a few outfits I would like to give you for amendments. Remove the jewels attached to the dress, please, and cover the area a bit more. It is too revealing and uncomfortable for me. The Duchess asked, it seems like your preferences have changed a lot. In the next scene, Edith thought, Killian would not come to my door for no reason, and asked, what is going on? Killian replied, follow me, Elise has invited you to tea time. Edith thought, I am pretty sure Elise forced him to escort me. Look at his backside, sculpted so beautifully, and look at those shoulders. Was he a former swimmer or something? Oh God, he noticed me gawking. Killian stated, I am warning you in advance, be careful with what you say in front of Elise. She is just as important to me as my family. She is someone much more precious to me than a vulgar woman like you, do you understand? Edith replied, wow, do you only aim to hurt me? Killian asked, what could possibly hurt you? Edith said, I am also human. You know, Killian asked, human? Aren't you a snake? Edith stated, that's very polite of you. May I address Elise with the same manners you have shown to me? It seems like you want to ruin my mood and turn me into a villainess. Unfortunately, I am not the kind of woman who can be swayed so easily. The fact is I am indeed pissed, but that's a separate issue. At the tea party, Cliff spoke, you are not overworking yourself, are you? But still, as newlyweds, shouldn't you go on a trip or something with Killian? Edith thought, are you planning to send Killian away with me and hog Elise to yourself? Edith replied, I am not sure. Killian appears to be busy. Then she thought, when the three of them are together, they look like friendly siblings, but if we were to remove Cliff from this equation, they would quickly be seen as a romantic couple. There would be no way to avoid negative rumors about Elise spreading. Cliff asked, what does Lady Edith think about me being the only one away from the mansion? Elise, Killian, and you will remain. What do you think about that situation? Edith thought, isn't he being a bit too obnoxious? He plays with people as if they are things. He asked that knowing I am in a position where I am not loved by Killian. It's hard to find any manners among the people in this household. Edith replied, I don't care. It is the duty of Lord Cliff, who is the successor, to go for territorial inspections. Do I have the authority to tell him not to go and to go in his place just because I don't want to? However, the part about taking Lady Elise with you was a bit much. I was getting ahead of myself. Long-distance carriage travel is usually tiring, and considering Lady Elise is not Lord Cliff's wife, it was indeed quite a bold suggestion to make. Then she looked at Elise and thought, what is that? Elise asked, Cliff, must you go for the territory inspection now? Edith thought, what was that just now? Did my eyes deceive me? But right now, the person I have wronged is not her. That night, Killian thought, why did she do that? And then thought about her. Suddenly, Elise came and asked, what are you doing alone on the terrace at night? Is something wrong? Killian replied, nothing at all. I heard you ordered new dresses today. Mother is pleased that you finally have your own clothes. Elise replied, "You have already bought so many dresses. I feel sorry for causing trouble every time." Killian replied, "What do you have to be sorry for? Mother has always envied families with daughters. We should be grateful to you because you take good care of us." Elise said, "Still, buying dresses for Edith would have made her happy since she is your wife." On that day, Edith did not even attempt to buy a single dress. She only altered the original dresses she brought to the duchy, and spent the entire time helping the Duchess and me choose our dresses. Killian said, "It seems that buying her a dress is not up to her standards, but it's fine for her to use for you and Mother." Then he thought, is she protesting because she doesn't like the dressmaker? She can't wear a dress to a wedding, and now she suddenly wants to be modest. She must have a reason, yet somehow, her presence did not really bother me today. I can't help but notice her when she is exposed. That's right, she is vulgar. I don't want to see that disgusting sight." Elise asked, "Do you hate Edith that much?" Killian replied, "That woman is a snake. Right now, she is lying flat on the ground. The moment everyone's guard drops, she will reveal her fangs." Then he thought, I should find another designer, one that can satisfy her extraordinary tastes. It's something unavoidable for our reputation. On the other hand, Anna told her, "The perfume you use is running out. Shall I call the perfume artisan?" Edith thought, "Do I have to spend my money? My position is constantly uncertain. So I have been saving money to prepare for any unforeseen events. But still, since I am a noble, I should buy luxury items like cosmetics. I have been saving money all my life, so I don't know how to use it at all. Now that I have been reincarnated, I will take what I can get." Then she told her, "Call for the perfume artisan." The artisan came and explained different perfumes to her. After that, he said, "I think a perfume like that would cost around 200,000 zenas. With that combination, you would surely get that same luxurious scent of the Ashley roses while adding a slight heaviness to it." Edith thought, "A bottle of 100 milliliters would cost me more than 200,000 won. Then she said, "Well, I think I'm going to stick to the original. I don't want to change the scent." Anna asked, "My lady, why don't you try mixing just a little scent of Nathaniel roses with the Ashley roses perfume? I understand that you might want to keep using a familiar scent, but now that you are married, I don't think it would be a bad idea to switch to a deeper scent." The artisan spoke, "That's a great choice then. A perfume like that would only cost around 130,000 zenas." Edith asked, "Wouldn't you let me have it for 120,000 zenas?" The artisan replied, "But in that case, there would be no profit for me." Edith asked, "How about 120,500 then?" "It's just because I don't want people saying that I was spending too much money as soon as I got married. In exchange for that, I promise to call you the next time I need more." The artisan replied, "In that case, I will trust your word and accept the deal." After that, Edith thought, "At this rate, I think I'm going to lose my sense of the value of money. Even though I have money, I can't rashly spend it. Am I not too pathetic?" However, when she thought about the moment when she lost her small salary to her older brother, which was something very important to her in her previous life, she couldn't help but feel guilty. In the next scene, Edith thought, "Wow, it feels like I'm renting a museum for myself. I didn't think that the Regelhofs were interested in art. Maybe you are in that position. Since you got overwhelmed by all the magnificent things displayed in this room and collapsed, I genuinely feel overwhelmed. How can a single piece of art like this contain so many people's emotions, while at the same time explaining the misery and tragedy that the war imposed so well? Just by looking at this male warrior, I can see his eagerness to end such tragedy. In addition to that, he doesn't seem to be looking to be praised by others." Killian spoke, "This piece of art was made to commemorate my grandfather's victory in the war against the Yannick kingdom. I didn't think that you actually didn't know about that, but that seems to be the case. I also never heard that you enjoyed art. What is the reason you came to this place?" Edith replied, "Well, it's normal that as one grows older, their preferences could change." Killian asked, "Then do you have a favorite artist?" Edith replied, "No. I just started to get interested in art since, as you know well, the Regelhofs aren't much interested in art." Edith then asked, "Wait a moment, that young man there, Killian replied. Yes, when I was younger, at the request of the painter who was close to my father. I didn't have a choice but to serve as a model for a bad painting. Why are you looking at it like that? Edith replied. Nothing specific, but it's just that. It's a bit small. Killian asked. What are you? It's evident that I'm not the body model for that painting. Edith replied. Yeah, sure, whatever you say. Killian spoke. I knew it was impossible to have a proper conversation about art with someone like you, Edith thought. Well, there's no way I could have moved on with my life without playing that joke on him, so it must be bigger than this. Next scene, Edith thought. What nice weather. If I could always live on a day like this, I wouldn't have anything else to wish for in my life. It's been 2 months since I was reincarnated into the body of Edith. I've been living the peaceful life of a noble, where I have to do just the bare minimum. The bright sunlight, the refreshing breeze, and even the air itself feel delicious. I've been enjoying the art gallery, luxurious cosmetics, and the fine dishes that I can always enjoy at every meal. Although people here still look at me with a certain suspicion, at least Anna, who is the one I meet most often, always acts kindly toward me. And also Renan. Long time no see, she said. Renan replied. It's nothing. Edith spoke. Anyway, you seem to be busy, so I will stop bothering you. Let's meet again later, Renan thought. Certainly, it doesn't seem to be that bad. After that, Edith thought. Since I arrived here safely today, this is the real destination of my morning walks. The training ground. My husband also seems to be in good shape today. It doesn't matter how many times I look at him, it's as thrilling as the first time. That big, muscular man with a huge chest, the clear splits between his muscles, and that bumpy and fierce back. Just as I thought, Killian fits my preferences much more than Cliff. Killian chatted with Elise, and Edith thought, so you also know how to make that kind of expression. After some time, Edith said, I was just organizing his documents in table form that Mother gave me. It's a form to organize the information on these documents. Then she thought, don't tell me table forms don't exist here. Then she said, anyway, don't you think this makes it easier to see? Elise replied, if I'm being honest with you, don't you think it could be a little awkward for the others? Edith thought, is that so? Maybe I went too far with this. The Duchess asked, is there any problem? Elise replied, I was just explaining something to her. Edith thought, I was the one explaining something to her. It was just how it was in my previous life. Then Edith stated, Mother, if you're okay with it, could you please give me your opinion about this table form that I made? Then she explained everything, and thought, wait a moment, did I just blatantly try to make Elise look bad? She then said, however, I was able to make this thanks to all that Elise has taught me. The Duchess replied, it's so simple, but at the same time, it has all the important information. It's also easy to see everything at a glance. This is great, a brilliant idea. I will have to organize the information on the documents like this from now on. Could you organize all the documents that you were assigned in this way, so that me and the others can learn from what you did? Edith replied, yes, Mother, I will do this. Elise did not look happy at all. Next scene, Killian asked, so what you're saying is that this grid method of organization is something that a woman came up with to sort the information? The Duchess replied, that's right. It seems that Edith is actually very smart, Killian said. Certainly, this does seem to be more efficient. The Duchess stated, have you not thought that marrying for political reasons could also be tough for her? She even had to leave her own home to come here. She must probably be feeling lonely among so many strangers. Couldn't you at least show a little bit of compassion toward her? Renan came in and said, oh, young master, I didn't know you were here. If you're currently busy with a problem, I could come back later. The Duchess replied, no, you came at the right time, and told him about this new style of written information from Edith. Killian asked, Mother seems to be quite satisfied with that. What do you think about it? Elise replied, I think the Duchess is right about everything she's saying. Edith is so different from me, who didn't learn anything in my childhood. And even if it's something that she doesn't know about, she learns much faster than me. Killian thought. As I suspected, she is acting a little off. It could be because the understanding that Elise has been able to work here is thanks to the Duchess, who has trained her for around 4 years, so it's not a surprise that she seems to envy Edith for this. But that doesn't mean she resents her for this, it just means that she has been trained for these types of things. Therefore, that would mean that the last time at Sistine Hall, when I saw her looking at that piece of art, my suspicions were not completely wrong. After some time, Edith asked, "Did you come because you missed me?" "Okay, that doesn't seem to be the case," Killian asked. "Are you doing that just to tell me to hurry up and get out of here?" Edith replied, "Then if I asked you to stay longer, would you do it?" She thought. Whenever I meet Killian, I can't help but play with him. I hope it doesn't kill me, but apart from this. Did Elise get upset because of what happened yesterday? Was he here to argue about that? That's right, that must be what he was here for. Killian asked, "What are you?" Edith thought, "He is too close." Killian continued, "The noble clothing workshop that my mother frequents is nothing less than elegant and refined. Was that not enough to match your taste? You are famously known for not being able to even use the same dress twice, so I don't believe that you didn't want anything, and I have so many ways to accommodate you for that." Edith thought, "I am just trying to change that image of me. That time, the only thing I did was not order a new dress. Is that even a valid reason to resent me?" Edith stated, "You definitely don't know anything about me. If I simply didn't like the design of that workshop, I would have just contacted another one right away. Do you seriously believe that I was trying to fool people by doing that? At this point, you're just looking for any excuse to hate me, and for some reason, I'm always the one burdened with the fault. Is that what you want?" Killian said. "When your family threatened mine, how did you feel about that?" Edith replied, "Was it me who made that threat?" Killian asked. "Are you saying that you should be separated from the rest of the Regelhoff family?" Edith thought, "Oh, I see. To all the people in this place, I'm just a reminder of the Regelhoffs." Edith stated, "You don't know anything about me, nothing at all." Killian said, "I heard that you've been helping my mother with her work skillfully. Don't try to do anything suspicious. That's the only warning I'm going to give you." After that, Edith thought, "Why is it still like this, even though I'm a new person? That's right, I can't fantasize about the luxury of staying in a place like this. I have to start learning more about how to get out of here." On the other hand, Killian thought, "What did I just do? I don't know if it was because of that rose scent in the room, but I couldn't pay much attention to what I was saying. She didn't say anything wrong. From the very beginning, I have only seen her as the daughter of a count. Whenever I claim that I know her, there's nothing that I know about her that isn't related to the count. Why do I get headaches so often these days?" Elise came and asked, "Why are you making that face?" Killian thought, "A subtle scent of violets, just as if there were a field full of blooming wildflowers. This is the scent of the pure and innocent Elise." "That's right, as expected. In comparison to this, a strong scent of roses is just disgusting." Then he said, "I'm fine. I think it's because I saw a very pitiful woman this morning." Next scene, Edith asked, "Shall we go outside to have fun together?" Anna replied, "Yes, my lady. I will help you get ready to go outside." After that, Edith thought, "As long as I'm stuck inside this house, I'll just fall deeper into my sad feelings." Anna asked, "Where would you like to go, my lady?" Edith replied, "To be honest, that is something I wanted to ask you. I've never been out on the street by myself." Then Anna told her about every place in the city where they could go, like dressing workshops, accessory shops, dessert cafes, cultural recreation facilities, banks, and bakeries. Edith thought, "I've been thinking about it for a while now. Anna seems to be a character that kindly explains things for the convenience of the author and audience. She's the encyclopedia character." After that, Edith said, "Let's see, all right, now that I've counted it again. I think he gave me a good price for those jewels, even though the diamonds were the smallest. Now then, did you say the bank was on this street?" Anna replied, "Yes." After some time, Edith said, "Great, I'm done," and thought, "I feel much more relaxed leaving the money outside of the mansion, since I don't know when I might be kicked out by the Duke." After that, Edith thought. In case I have to run away in the middle of the night, she asked Anna about trains and travel to different places. Anna gave her all the information she wanted. Edith thought, I have a lot of questions besides this one, but it would be naive of me to think that Anna wouldn't report everything I do or say during this outing. Next scene, Edith thought, is there a way to tell the difference between old and fresh soybeans? But why am I even learning about this? Will I even be able to live a life as a farmer? Anna came and told her, the Duchess is looking for you. I heard that the jeweler has arrived. Edith thought, don't tell me today is that day. It must be the day of the episode in the original story where the jeweler arrives, and Edith is humiliated. Next scene, Edith thought, although the Duchess called me here, I can't bring myself to go there and help them choose as I usually would. However, to be honest, there's something different this time. I didn't want to come at first because I thought it would be awkward to see Killian. Now I am certain why Edith felt so left out back then. How much would something like this cost? Elise said, wait a moment. Edith, I think this necklace would suit you a lot. Edith thought, isn't it actually very pretty? Then she replied, it's gorgeous. Is this a ruby? The Duchess asked, why don't you try it on? Killian said, turn your back. Edith thought, why is he acting so strange now? What is suddenly wrong with him? Oh, it must be because of the Duchess. We mustn't let the Duchess worry much about us, right? Edith asked Killian, what do you think? Killian replied, it's fine. Cliff said, what a great husband you are. Then allow me to pay for the rest. The Duchess asked, if you buy all of these for Elise, then what about Edith? So Edith replied, it's okay. Mother, I didn't want to buy anything else. The necklace is enough for me. Edith thought, actually, if I could have gotten one of those huge necklaces and sold it, I wonder how much my runaway fund would increase. But this one, I don't think I can bring myself to sell it. Later that night, Edith thought, is this a letter written by the Count? The letter said, I have waited for so long. Aren't you getting yourself comfortable there? Don't you think you should start doing your part soon? I heard that you have been helping the Duchess with important documents from the Duke. If there is any document about the weaponry owned by the Duke, you shall steal it and hand it over to me. Edith thought, if he knows that I have been dealing with some of the Duke's documents, that could only mean he has another spy relaying this information from inside. She continued, now then, shall I write my reply? Since I came here, I've found that the Duke's forces and resources are much more formidable than we thought. It was beyond our imagination. If you were to try to take them down soon, you would certainly face crushing defeat. The members of the Duke's family have not done anything wrong in the first place. The preparation of military forces is a direct order from His Majesty. So why do you hate the Rudwick family so much? Please give up on this rebellion. It would be better to develop the Regelhof strengths, under the protection of the Rudwick family. Edith thought, I have finally said everything that I wanted to, so it's time to relax. However, even though she managed to send the letter neatly, it wouldn't take long for a reply to come back to her from an unexpected direction. The Duke stated, you have just thrown your father's name and your honor to the ground. Let me ask again. Did you leak private documents of the ducal family to outsiders? Edith replied, I have not. I swear on my honor and my life. These are the documents you assigned me to organize a while ago. The Duke responded, that's right. I asked Renan to prepare these for you. All these papers are written with false information. Your father has been purchasing stocks of only the items that appear on those documents. That's proof enough that he has been deceived by that fake information. Edith said, I'm not sure what the exact issue is in this situation. There must be another reason. Why you decided to arrange these fake documents for me. I only did what I was required to do. I did not leak any documents. The Duke stated, I must admit that I admire you for having the guts to say that even in this situation. Can you explain to me how the information got to your father? Edith replied, surely you're not suggesting that I was the only one who had access to these documents. The Duke said, the only other people who worked there with you are my own wife and Lady Elise. Are you suggesting that a member of my family leaked the information? Edith Regelhof. Edith thought, It was the same in the original story. After the wedding, Edith was never once called Edith Rudwick. He only brought me here to catch me in his political trap. Edith asked, in that case, what is Lady Elise's name? Is it Elise Rudwick? The Duke warned. You better hold your tongue right there, Edith stated. I'm going to reiterate what I said before. The fact that I was given these documents to organize was well known by the Duchess and Lady Elise. In case something like this happened, I would obviously be the first person to be suspected. Do you think I wouldn't know that? If you really didn't trust me that much, you wouldn't have given me fake documents in the first place. You simply wouldn't have given me any work to do, unless, perhaps, you're just pretending that I leaked those documents, with the intention of having a motive to take action against the Count. Edith thought, I'm sick of it. I didn't leak anything. How did that information get into the Count's hands? I also feel a bit sad because of Renan, who I thought was close to me, lying to me. But, being honest, I don't expect him to have leaked the information, and it's impossible that Elise would have done something like that. Could it be that there is actually a spy for my father? But if there was a spy who could reach the documents so easily, there wouldn't have been any point in arranging a political marriage and sending me here in the first place. Perhaps, for me, only playing the role of Edith, no matter what I do, it's just impossible to go against the natural flow of the original story. Could all this be a sign of that? Now I am slowly sinking into that reality. At least, until it comes to me at the hands of Killian, I'm so dumb. I shouldn't be crying here, Edith stated. If you are so sure that I did this, just take my head. Killian asked, what are you? Cliff interrupted. It's better to look into this matter a bit more, of course. Meanwhile, we will have to keep the suspect under surveillance. The Duke said, if you are truly innocent, you better start praying for the truth to come out. Renan is going to be assigned to be your. Killian interrupted, I will do it, then he said, follow me. Edith asked, please, wait. After that, Killian asked, have you gone crazy? Do you even know what the Duke was nicknamed on the battlefield? He was named the Sudden Guillotine, and you dared to ask him to take your head. Edith asked, what's wrong with you? Does it matter to you if he takes my head or not? Killian replied, still, if you didn't commit a crime, then you shouldn't be paying for it. If that's the case, the truth will come out for sure. Edith said, I don't know about that. Do you really think so? Now, as much as neither of you believes me, I won't trust any of you anymore from now on. Either way, I'm sure they're going to find a way to frame me as the culprit no matter what. After all, you were the ones who put those fake documents in my hands. Also, you were the ones who told me that the Count acted according to that information. Why didn't you investigate more thoroughly before that? I guess that's just the way you all are. As for me, now I'm just stuck in this room with no other option than accepting and following what you are doing. Killian stated, I won't let my preconceptions blind me in my investigation. On my honor, I swear to investigate fairly. Edith replied, do whatever you want. However, about what you're saying, I can't believe that you won't be taking sides in this case. After all, the only suspects left are the Duchess and Lady Elise. Knowing that, how can you be so sure that you'll be fair? Scene change. The princess spoke. You have arrived. It's been a long time since I last saw you. Elise thought. The princess is the only blood relative of the current emperor, who was born when he was 4 years old. She is seen as a mere wild beast running around the imperial palace, and with her monstrous strength, she instills fear in families. After some conversation, Cliff told her about Killian's marriage drama and how this marriage is political. The princess said, I'm not interested in those things. I'm going to hang out with my guest, Elise. You can talk about complicated matters with the emperor. On the other hand, in her dream, Edith remembered one of the girls asking, does it hurt? You couldn't sleep because you're also afraid to die. Edith replied, I don't fear that. I just wish I could die already. My mother and dad said that it bothers them that I'm sick. Doctors found that my brother has compatible bone marrow for my treatment. But my brother said he doesn't want to give his bone marrow. He suggested using one from pig. Because of that, I would rather just die. The girl spoke. So you're like that because things don't go the way you want. Even with that, I'm jealous of your situation. It's amazing that you have a relative with matching bone marrow. On the other hand, I just want to be able to turn 20 someday, to be able to grow my hair, tie it up, put on lipstick and eye makeup, walk into the street by myself, and see how other people live their lives. If only that could be possible for me, I think I could endure anything else. Edith woke up and thought. She said she was scared of dying, and when I went back home after my bone marrow transplant, I left without saying goodbye. That's why I can't give up on my life so easily. As long as I'm alive, I can do anything. After some time, Edith thought, now I can enjoy my free time in this house and take a peaceful and well-deserved rest, or at least that's what I thought. Just a moment before my meal, Killian suddenly came in. She asked, "What issue do you have to discuss with me today? Why did you come during my mealtime without a word in advance?" Killian replied, "I didn't have any other time available to come." Edith thought, why does he have to be so difficult to talk to? Is it because he's handsome? Let's focus on the meal for now, and said, "This is so delicious." Killian stated, "We have found new evidence that could provide information about your case. We are still investigating thoroughly. Like you said, Elise is also on the suspect list for now. That was hard for me to say." Edith replied, "Then there is no reason for me to worry. I am innocent, and this soup is delicious, so I'll focus on eating it." Killian said, "This is for you. I put a lid on it to save you some in case you run out of soup." Edith replied, "Thanks for the food." After Killian left, she thought, I feel a little bit lonely now that he's gone. What should I do now? Then she asked Anna, "What hobbies do the other young nobles enjoy these days?" Anna replied, "It seems that making clothes for small wooden figurines is a new trend. It could help you improve your sewing skills, and I'm sure that my lord and his wife would be fine with that." Edith asked, "Do you know how much it would cost?" Anna replied, 50,000 zenas would be enough to buy a pair of high-quality figurines. Edith stated, "As expected, it is more expensive than I thought. Well then, I'll give you 200,000 zenas. You can keep whatever is left as compensation for your hard work." Anna replied, "My job is to serve you, my lady. I don't need extra compensation." Edith asked, "Why? Don't you want to receive anything from me? Is that it? Oh my, I didn't intend to exalt you like that. You must be thinking there will be too much money left after buying what I need. Please think of it as a token of my appreciation for you." Anna replied, "Thank you, my lady." After that, Edith thought, I had a good start, but it's not as easy as I thought. Anna came and said, "I bought a pair of wooden dolls, along with the rest of the supplies. There are also drawings for how to make these clothes." Edith thought, all right, I'll make this my hobby. I don't care if I can't do it properly. After some days, Edith thought, this actually looks pretty good now that I've finished it. It's still a mess on the inside, but who cares as long as it looks pretty. Then she thought, now then, time for you to kiss, and said, I should go and learn how to do embroidery. After some time, Killian came in and shouted, your handwritten letter has been found. On the other hand, Damien told her the whole story up until now about what is happening in the Duke's palace, then thought, according to the information I got, Killian seems to be taking care of Edith in a strange way. That part bothers me a little, and said, but Elise is becoming a problem for us now. Layla asked, what do you think about using Edith to our advantage, since Killian also has feelings for Elise? I'm sure she hates her too, so as long as we do a great job stoking the fire, wouldn't she get rid of Elise on her own? It will be killing two birds with one stone. Back at the Duke's palace, Killian said, my father will request your presence soon. What are you going to explain about that? Edith replied, I will just explain that someone has been trying to frame me for all of this. Killian asked, but what the hell are you thinking? Renan came and said, my lord has requested Edith to go meet with him. Edith said, relax your face, Killian. Don't you think it's a good thing that new evidence has been found? After some time, Edith said, it does look like my handwriting. The Duke stated, it's a loss for you to choose to stay on your father's side. If you speak the truth, I promise that you won't be punished. Edith said, this is not a matter of punishment or not. Didn't I swear on my honor for my word? Let's compare this document with one I previously wrote myself. And you can see I don't draw the table grid with lines as thick as in this one. This is someone who doesn't understand the table method." The Duke asked, "Or perhaps you could have done that on purpose." Edith replied, "Why would I? Wouldn't I have returned this in my own handwriting in the first place?" She thought, "The Duchess and Elise are the only ones who have learned this method from me, and that would explain how the culprit was so familiar with my handwriting. However, what would be the reason for any of them to try to leak documents from the Duke? It's as if they were trying to force the original flow of the story to happen." Then she said, "Here, you can see a slight difference between the handwriting. Please take a close look at this letter, which is different from how I write it. Now you just have to focus on catching the rat who did this." Then Elise came in, and the Duke asked, "Did Edith teach you how to organize information with that table grid method? Who else knew about that method?" Elise replied, "Yes, that is a very effective method. We would have to ask the Duchess if she taught it to any other assistant. Also, Cliff and Killian had a rough idea about it. Aside from that, I don't think there is anyone else who knows about this, but I'm being honest. I don't understand the basis of it very well either." Edith thought she didn't understand, but last time I explained it to her. The Duke stated, "Thanks to you, things have been settled. You can leave now." "So it seems we are now in a strange predicament," Edith replied. "This is a completely different table grid than the one that I usually use. It even has a discrepancy in the handwriting. You have witnessed all this information that I have shown you, so you can't just ignore it because of what Elise said. I know that I am not the culprit, but is there any reason for Elise to do that?" Suddenly, she said, "You should not read another person's diary. You genuinely don't even have the smallest piece of respect for me." The Duke spoke, "There is no further evidence, so I will let this issue slide this time, and I will take back the order that I gave you." After some time, Killian asked, "I don't trust you. You are a member of the Regelhoff family. Don't you think it's natural for us to suspect you?" Edith replied, "How many times will I have to tell you that? I don't care about any of the conflicts between our families." Killian asked, "But I guess that does not matter to you. And what about helping your father with his conspiracies?" Suddenly, Edith thought, at that moment, numerous memories started to pass through my mind. Not only did I seduce men to steal information, but I even ruined one of the parties to honor the Rudwicks. On multiple occasions, I have been the reason for other marriages between nobles to fail. Why did those memories come to me at this moment? After that, Elise said, "Nothing that I said was used against her. I should try to explain that to the Duke." Killian stated, "That's not necessary. Either way, we are going to let this incident pass this time, so there is no need to talk about it." Killian thought, when I read Edith's diary, she watched me at the training ground and all her thoughts were of me. Why would that woman want me to smile at her? In the next scene, the Duchess spoke, "I was waiting for you. I heard that you had a rough time yesterday. Mental hardship could be even harder than physical hardship." Edith replied, "No, Duchess, I genuinely did not steal those documents, but I understand if you can't trust me. I know that you are probably going to be more careful around me." The Duchess spoke, "I believe you. No matter how difficult it could get, I do believe you. I know that you did your best to help me with my work until now. And I have seen how hard you have been trying to find a way to adapt here. I mean, how can I not notice that? I have been through the same situation in the past. I am sure that it was not you, my child." Edith spoke, "Mother, the truth is that I am in the Regelhoff family." Suddenly, she was shocked. After some time, the doctor said, the cause of her fainting could be because her body finally relaxed. After going through a highly stressful situation, I think you should take better care of her until she is completely recovered. Killian thought, this must have been because of all the pressure she went through during my father's interrogation. Did she cry that much for her face to be so swollen like that? Then he asked, "Mother, what are you talking about?" The Duchess replied, "She said that she did not steal any of the private documents, so you should have trusted her. I told Edith that I believed in her." After that, she started to tear up, and because no one else trusted her, she was grateful to me. That was the only thank you I wanted to hear. Killian thought, I just have a headache. Suddenly, Elise came and said, I came here because I was told that Edith fainted. Killian thought, those small hands and that beautiful smell. If she touches me, this painful headache will surely disappear. Then he said, I am fine, I'm sorry, I will go rest for a bit. Edith thought, where is she? It's pitch dark. Suddenly, a voice came. You are subjected to 3 main rules in order to maintain the order of your journey. First, you cannot reveal information about yourself that should be secret in the main story. Suddenly, she was going down and thought, you have to tell me what the rest of the rules are. Edith woke up. Anna spoke. Are you awake? My lady, you just woke up after 2 days. Edith said, Anna, the truth is that I am in the... Suddenly, she felt pain. Then said, I'm sorry. My body hurts a little bit. Could you bring me some water? And also, did Killian? No, it's nothing. Then she thought, regardless of anything I wanted or did, the storyline of the original novel kept repeating itself. Edith has a mere part role that has a tragic destiny, to die by being decapitated by her own husband. That's the test that I will soon have to face myself. What was the next episode? Oh right, it's that one. Then I should be going there at once. That night, she sneaked into Killian's bedroom, and by kissing him while he was asleep, she was going to try to seduce him. Like this video. Hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.